Chapter 21 24 Hours of Nowhere, 1 o'clock p.m. Rossi and Bo saw Jacob just as he rounded the corner at them. Bo released Rossi's legs and dove to the side of the track, and Rossi rolled in the dirt away from Jacob, who jerked his bike to the side and wiped out in the silt, sending up a giant dust cloud. Rossi wasted no time. She jumped up and limped back to her bike, her arms held close to her chest. Transcendence. Existence beyond the normal or physical level. Excellence. According to the great ones, there have been several instances in which athletes have competed with serious physical injuries. In 1956, goalie Bert Trautmann finished the FA Cup with a broken neck. In 1985, football player Ronnie Lott played a game with a crushed finger that later had to be amputated. In 1996, Carrie Strug performed the vault with an injured ankle, ensuring her team won the Olympic gold medal. And in the year I was about to start 8th grade, though it wouldn't be written about in any book, on the last scorching day of summer vacation, 13-year-old Rossi Scott finished a race almost no one in the world knew or cared about, with a sprained ankle, a dislocated thumb, and 2 fractured ribs. But the handful of people who did know about it cared enough for the whole world. Bo ran to his own bike and jumped on, and then he was in front of her again. I felt a sinking in my stomach. Every time she tried to pass, he cut her off. I could tell she was hurt. She didn't seem to have the strength left in her to get around him. As they rounded the last corner, she tried one more time to pass. He blocked her. That was it. There were no more chances. And then she turned to the right and drove straight into the loose silt. Matthew threw up his hands. She's done. That's it. It's over. The fineness of the silt caused a giant, thick cloud of dust that obscured both Rossi and Bo. I can't see what's happening, I cried. Where are they? I had seen a lot of riders hit the silt, and a massive dust cloud always erupted when that happened. But this was like a nuclear bomb had gone off. It felt like hours passed as we ran along the edge of the basin, following the growing cloud, steadily moving toward the finish line like a dust storm headed into town. What was happening in there? The heat pounded down on me to the point where I could no longer run, no longer move, no longer breathe. I used my last remnant of air to call out her name. She emerged from the cloud and back onto the compacted dirt. She gunned her bike and moved in front of Bo, kicking up dirt right in his face. Matthew pumped his fist in the air. Did you see how she just roosted him? And then I had the strength to move again. Matthew and I followed her to the end. Rossi crossed in front of Bo, just barely, but it was enough. We ran down to the finish line to meet her. Rossi eased off her bike, removed her helmet and goggles, and limped to us. She was so covered in silt, she looked like she had been dipped in it up to her neck. Her brown eyes sparkled, the outline of her goggles sharp around them. You cheated, Bo spat as he stomped toward us. His boots kicked up so much dust, it looked like he was being followed by a dust devil. She did not. I stepped in front of Rossi. No one ever said you can't ride in the silt. If anyone cheated, it was you. You grabbed her brakes. Stay out of this before I put your face in another cactus. He turned to Matthew. And what's the matter with you? Matthew stepped back, putting more distance between himself and Bo. What? Letting her use your bike? What the heck, man? Matthew stood up a little straighter and stuck out his chest. You shouldn't have gone back on your deal, Bo, he gulped. You're a liar. Bo went at him, but now I jumped in front of Matthew. Leave him alone. Bo looked surprised for a split second, then he laughed. Are you going to protect him, you spineless piece of trailer trash? We all live in trailers, I said, but you're the only trash here, Bo. And then I did something I had never ever done before. I thought of scaling the mountain of rubble in the mine, thinking I would die. I thought of untangling the bat from Rossi's hair, of fighting off the mountain lion with nothing but my backpack, of pulling Rossi from the water when I had no strength left. I summoned it all as I pulled back my arm and swung at Bo with everything I had, and completely missed Bo's face. Completely missed. By like a whole foot, and I stumbled a little. Okay, a lot. Cut me some slack. I wasn't used to fighting back. Bo wasted no time. He raised his fist and landed it full force on my nose. I heard a nauseating crunch and fell to the ground. Warmth trickled down my mouth and chin. I touched it. Blood. I was pretty sure Bo had broken my nose, but I stood back up and faced him. Is that all you got? I spit blood on the ground like I was the toughest cowboy in a western, when really I felt like I was going to throw up. Bo came at me again, and I swung my arms wildly before he was even close to reaching me. I batted at the empty air, screaming like a madman, my arms 2 out of control windmills. I was a whirlwind of fists and fury. I was a cyclone of glory and grit. I was a tornado of tough and turpentine. I had closed my eyes, so I'm not really sure what Bo's reaction was, but I like to think he was at least a tiny bit afraid. Or at least afraid I had gone insane. Then we heard a gruff voice shout, Enough! I stopped my threatening display, and we all turned to see Jack walking toward us. She cheated, Bo whined. Jack grabbed Bo by his hair. What's the matter with you? You can't beat a girl at dirt bike racing, and now you're pounding on weaklings? I rolled my eyes. Really? Did my windmill arms accomplish nothing? Jack let go of Bo's hair, shoving his head at the same time. Bo stumbled and picked up his helmet. You want to end up in the center like me? Jack barked. Or worse, you want to end up like Dad? It was weird to see Bo cower in front of someone. He stared at the ground and shook his head. Get your stuff together and get your butt home, Jack ordered. Then he looked at Rossi. He nodded slightly to acknowledge her, as though she had earned that nod. He didn't bother with the rest of us. Instead, he turned and stomped off. both following closely behind. I knew we'd pick this back up tomorrow at school, but I found I wasn't really all that scared. After all I'd gone through, what more could Bo possibly do to me? A man walked up to us, and both Rossi's and Matthew's faces went slack-jawed. You're, Rossi mumbled. The man's face looked equally surprised as he reached his hand out. Rossi held one arm to her chest and stuck the other out to shake his hand. You're a girl, the man exclaimed. Rossi shut her mouth, the adulation gone from her face. She tilted her head to the side and furrowed her eyebrows, still shaking the man's hand. Did you come all the way here to tell me that? The man laughed and finally released Rossi's hand. I think it's awesome, you're a girl. Sorry, I was just surprised. I've never seen racing like that from someone so young. What are you doing here? Rossi asked. Mayor Handsome told me there were some pretty sweet races going on in this little town. Thought I'd check it out. I love finding talents in strange places. You know Mayor Handsome? Matthew finally piped up. Oh yeah, Mayor Handsome said, walking up to us. We go way back. No way, Matthew whispered. Why you think I want to live here? Mayor Handsome said. Best start by racing anywhere. Best climate for my ostriches. He gave us a sly look. And utter interesting dings. The man looked at Rossi. So I'll see you at camp then? Rossi, she said. The man laughed. I love it. I'll see you at camp. Rossi, I'll have your new bike ready for you. We all watched him walk away. I can't believe it, Matthew whispered. No way. So who was that? I said. Both Rossi and Matthew looked at me, their mouths agape. Seriously, Gus? Matthew said. That was the breaker himself. I can't believe it. I smiled at Rossi, her eyes absolutely dazzled. Not impossible, I said. Mayor Handsome lifted my chin, inspecting my face. He sighed. I guess we go to the hospital.